Hey, Tiffany Burns here. James and I started our SCENTSY business in July 2010. So we have been in this business for over 15 years. And we are the directors of James and Tiffany and Company. And we live in Texas along with our 7 children. We are a former foster, and now adoptive family. We fostered for just over 4 years, and since in that time, we adopted 5 children, and so we have 7 children total, starting from 16 all the way down to 5. And I homeschool my children, so I am very blessed to have this business because it has given me opportunity to be able to still provide an income and be able to do fun stuff with our family, and also to be able to work around our schedule and still be able to stay at home with them and work with my children whenever I do work my business. More about that here in a little bit. But James and I James found this business just over 17-ish years ago, we think. We were actually at an event selling a different product. And when I say selling, I really mean selling, because we actually put a lot of money into that business and didn't make anything, and put a lot on credit card and had a lot of credit card debt. And we actually used SCENTSY income to pay off that debt when we started this business. So we were set up at a tent, in a tent at an event, and James was walking around, and we weren't selling anything, and so he had plenty of time to walk around. And he could smell from a distance this amazing scent. And so he followed his nose to that tent and found this amazing tent that was full of people, and everybody was walking out with bags and everybody was buying stuff. And he was like, I think we need this product, and we might consider selling that product because people are actually buying it and they weren't buying what we were selling. And we really just fell in love with the product, honestly. When we first got married, we didn't have a lot of money, and we were buying an cheap grocery stores candle without naming any names, and of course it wasn't smelling up our house at all and covering up the dog smell. And then we started having children, and it wasn't covering up diapers smell and all of that and things that come along with babies. And we actually just were looking for something to cover that, and that's how we found SCENTSY. And after doing a few parties and realizing all of our friends were buying the product and we weren't making any money off of it, we thought, hey, why not give this a try? And that way, when our friends buy the product, they can buy it from us. We make a little extra income. We make some extra income on our orders, plus we get the free and half price. When we started the business, we thought we're going to go into events. So actually, want to go back a little bit there. One of the things I want you to notice about our story is it was actually my husband who found the business, who fell in love with the product, and who encouraged us to start the business. So it is very important that we remember this, because I think sometimes, and I'm just as guilty, I tend to be gearing towards the wife, when in reality, husbands could play a huge role in not only using the product, but in actually purchasing the product and starting a business with the product. So don't count out the guys, all right? So anyways, we started using the product, ended up joining. When we first started, we said, hey, we're gonna work events. So that's gonna be how we are going to do our business. And honestly, the first couple of years, it felt like every event we reached out to had a SCENTSY person. And I just wanna encourage you, because I know sometimes we run into that. Don't stop. First off, look for any schools, any churches, anybody and everybody that's doing an event. And that's what we did. We started reaching out to everybody we could. Any event we were willing to drive, even if it was an hour or a little bit more, we would drive to the event. We would do every event we possibly could just to get our name out there. And even if they told us they had, so we would email the people, do you already have a SCENTSY person? Even if they said they did, we'd be like, I hope you have a great event. If for whatever reason that person can't make it in the future, we would love to be your person. And that worked out well for us, because over the years, people have quit for various reasons or decided they don't want to do events for various reasons, and we have been able to pick up some of those events. So I just want to encourage you, if you are wanting to get into the event world, do not give up just because you reach out and find out they already have a SCENTSY consultant. Still keep looking for other events and let them know if they ever need you, you're available if that consultant can't make it. And just be there. You're not trying to push anybody out. You're just going to be there if that event still needs somebody and doesn't have one in the future. So events is our big thing, but over the years we have done fundraisers and Facebook parties and home parties. And honestly, especially in those first few building years, we were willing to do anything and everything we could, because the goal was to get our name out there, and to build up our contact list. And now I can tell you that putting in that hard work in those first few years has paid off hugely now at our 15-year mark. So when we go through things like, for example, in 2020, when we hit our 10-year mark and all of a sudden we had no events and our whole business was on events, we were able to, because we had those contacts, build up an online presence as well. And so we get lots of PWS orders through that. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about building up your contact list, because that is key to this business, and following up with those contacts. So not just putting them on your workstation or in whatever form you want to, but actually doing something with those. So it doesn't matter what you do, whether you do events, whether you do Facebook parties, home parties, basket parties, whatever it is, word of mouth, referrals, you just meet somebody at the gas station, whatever it is, I want to encourage you to always get their information. You want their name, their phone number, and their email, bare minimum. In the early years, I would even get their address and I'd send them a little thank you postcard after the event. And I tell you, that's been huge in growing our business, because people are blown away when they go to an event and they purchase something from you and you send them something in the mail or even just a text message thanking them. Because nowadays, most people don't get that, especially when they purchase a product. They do not receive any kind of thank you, any kind of follow-up. Are you enjoying your product? And that's what I want you to do. I want you to grow good customer service. Build up who you are and what it is you want to be. So for us, it has always been about getting contact information. So no matter what we're doing, we are getting that stuff, whether it's on paper. In the early years, we did on paper. Now we do digitally. I still have team members who choose to do it by paper, and I have some that have shifted over like we have to digital. So on my digital, what I do is I have a Google form, and I have that Google form with me everywhere I go. So anybody's information I need, they can fill out that Google form. And what I do, especially at events, let's just talk about events because that's one of the big areas that I use for my business. But you can do the same thing, whether it's a home party or a Facebook party or anything. So a lot of times I found that if I would ask them, would you like to? Most people are going to say no. And in the early years, I did a lot of prizes. Fill this out for prizes if you're just really trying to gain your contacts. But if you've got an event where people are actually buying, or a party where people are there, right, and they're going to do this, I simply open up my digital, and for me it's the Google form, and I can send anybody who wants that a Google form. Just reach out and let me know. I can send you a copy of it and you can make a copy. And at the top, I always have a little notes section. And you can do the same thing if you're doing it on paper, because I used to do this for years, write notes on the paper. And I love to keep notes. So I'm going to put in the event that it is and the year, because I just love to see over the years, wow, this person has bought from me every year, because I keep record of that when they come back and buy again. And I can see how many years they bought from me at certain events or parties or whatever it is. I can see those because I keep really good notes. I'll keep notes of what they purchase. Sometimes I'll keep notes of things like we talked about their children play sports and they're looking for some extra money to help pay for the sports, or she was pregnant and she's due in March. You know, things that may be valuable in knowing that they're going to maybe want some extra income because they're looking to maybe stay at home eventually, or they're going to need some extra funds for different athletics or different sports things or whatever it might be for their kids, things like that. Or we connected, oh my gosh, they're looking for this scent, so I want to keep note of that, so that bring back my bar, I have that on there. So I'm going to keep really good notes of these people. I like to use Project Broadcast. You can use Project Broadcast if you like, but now we have the Connect app, which is amazing, and I recommend you doing that as well. But you can keep all those notes in your workstation, and then that way in the future when they purchase from you again, either at an event, a party, or online, and you suddenly get that surprise PWS email that you're like, oh my gosh, who is this? You can go and look and see, I met them at this event, right? So you're going to get that information. You're going to make those notes. And here's the key. What I'll do is I will turn my phone around and I'll say, please fill this out while I'm checking you out. So instead of asking them, will you? I say, please fill this out while I'm checking you out. If they bought anything that has a warranty, diffusers, warmers, things like this, I will say, fill this out for your warranty. And most people just do that. I've got this little something flying around in here. I don't know if you saw that. That's funny. Anyways, so you can have them fill this out, and then I go and put that in. And if it's in a digital form, this uploads it to a spreadsheet, and then I'm able to take that spreadsheet. I can add tags to it for my project broadcast and put it straight into project broadcast. And I tag things like any bring back my bars that they're looking for. I tag the event they're a part of so that in the future I can reach out, because I like to send messages to everybody and say, I'm at this event, FYI, here are my dates, and that sort of thing. I like to tag them in just different key things like that. If they said, oh, I'm really looking for Toy Story stuff. We had Toy Story stuff a few years ago, and then it went away. And for the longest time, everybody's like, I want Toy Story, and you can't have my personal ones. And so what are they going to need? And then when Toy Story came back, I had a tag of all my Toy Story people, Disney people, all the things. I've got tags for these things. And now Workstation has those tags too, so you can do the same thing in Workstation. So in the digital form, it all comes in a spreadsheet. You have to tweak it a little bit for the Workstation one, but you just tweak it to their format, and then you can upload that also into the Workstation. Easy peasy. Now all your contacts are in there. Now one little note, and hopefully eventually this will change, and this will be an outdated video here, but right now the notes do not carry over, and so you will need to go individually put in the notes for each contact. But I promise you, this work is going to be huge for your business in the long run. I've been doing this work for 15 years now, and I'm telling you, it's paying off hugely here now, year 15, when we have situations. A year and a half ago, my mother passed away, and life just kind of shut down for me for a little while, trying to figure all of that out and just all the things. But my business didn't stop because I had these things in place. So whenever I had a short little time or wasn't working at normal, because I had done these things previously, I was already set and ready to go. So here's the key thing I want you to do. You're not just gonna get these people's information, put it in Workstation and call it a day. No, you want them to subscribe to your email newsletter so they get your newsletter every month. You're going to be connecting through the Connect app. I'm telling you, get this Connect app, set your notifications on for it, then you're not going to miss any of the news tabs are going to pop up. Every news article that comes up is going to pop up on your phone, and it's going to tell you what to do to follow up. It's going to tell you to reach out to these different people. If you like to use Project Broadcast, that's what I like to use. It's nice, and I can send out messages. But you can do the same thing on the Connect app now too with emails. You can send out emails, and they already prepare the emails for you. It even gives you contacts you can send it to, or you can add extra contacts if you have their email, which is why you want to get their email as well. And so when you're following up, to me, follow-up is huge, 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 huge. But let me just tell you this. I am like a bit all over the place. I have 7 kids, I told you. I homeschool. Like, it's chaotic around here. I'm really, really bad, just confession, really bad at doing the 2-2-1 or 3-3. All these people over the years have had these amazing systems. I've even talked about it and tried really hard to do them, but my life just doesn't work very well like that to remember all those things. But here's a little tip for you. Your customers have no idea that you were going to follow up with them every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. They don't know that. So they're not sitting around saying, I can't believe Tiffany hasn't sent me a text today. They're not doing that, I promise you. So the key is just be consistent, even if it's consistently chaotic, which is what my life is. So they may not get a text message or an email every Monday of the month or every first Tuesday of the month or whatever, but they know they're going to hear from me, and they're going to hear from me pretty frequently, at least once a month, because at least once a month I'm sending an email or a text message to them about something. And y'all, there is plenty for you to send them about. You can send them about different licensing products as they come out. When the Toy Story stuff, when Stitch comes out, Lord of the Rings, Friends, whatever it may be, there is something you can send for them. New catalog, warmer of the month, sales. Y'all, the sales, when we have the big clearance sales, I send out text to everybody, and I always get a lot of PWS orders during those times. So I'm telling you, follow up is the key in communicating. And I think sometimes we lose sight of what follow up really entails, because I think it's a big picture. I don't think it's just when you send them the message saying, will you order, will you order, will you order? No, I think it's when you send them the message saying, thank you so much for meeting me in that booth, coming to that home party, meeting me on that Facebook party, whatever it may be. Thank you for coming. I appreciated you coming by. Even if they didn't buy anything and they just gave you their information. If they did buy something, thank you so much. I hope you are loving that enchant diffuser. I hope that you are loving those oils that you purchased, and I try to be very specific with it. And then if you've got the Connect app, and it's an online order, it makes you look brilliant because it tells you the minute they place a PWS order so that you can thank them. It tells you the minute it's delivered so you can send them. Like, now I'm looking rock star because my customers are like, whoa, like that was just set on my porch and she already knew. And you're messaging them, and that's a part of follow-up because they know, wow, this lady notices and appreciates my business. Then she also wants to make sure I know that I've got a box of wax sitting on my front porch, so someone needs to bring that inside as soon as possible, right? And they know that. And then I'm following up with them and letting them know about things that are coming out. And sometimes I don't even say it like, hey, do you want to order Toy Story? I might say like, hey, I am so excited they just brought Toy Story back. Do you know anybody who loves Toy Story or who would be interested in these Toy Story products? And what that does is, one, they'll say, yeah, me, or two, no, but I don't want it, but I know someone who totally does, and I'm going to send them your information. Now you're getting referrals. So that's all a part of the follow-up system. Just constantly getting some form of communication. And do I get people that say, stop, don't send me messages? Absolutely. No big deal. Move on. You're going to get plenty that are like, oh my gosh, girl, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I appreciate it, because they do, and I promise you they want it. So if you've learned nothing else, I want you to get everybody's contact information, name, phone number, and email, bare minimum. Get those 3 things. I try not to overwhelm them with too much because they may be like, whoa, why do you want all this stuff, right? So I try to leave it to those 3 things. I can always get the address later if I really want it, right? I'm going to send you some little mail, you know, I can get the address. Get their contact information. Put it in your workstation. Put it in there, add some notes to it so you know how you met them, something about them, what they ordered, whatever it is, put it in your workstation. And then follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And when I say follow up, I mean get on your Connect app and send out emails. I mean get in those messages and send out text messages, just letting them know what's going on. Maybe it's making a cute little Canva picture of all the things that are coming out in the new harvest catalog or holiday catalog or whatever, and sending a text. Just wanted to let you know about some cute things that just released. Whatever it is, follow up and touch points always. I hope that helps you huge. And seriously, it has changed our business. Like, we have grown our business huge. We have extra income constantly going towards our family budget. We are earning trips. We have, I don't even know what number we're at now. I think over 12 at this point. Vacations we've earned. We've been able to take our children to Disney World. We're currently working on the next family vacation. This business can change your life, and it can change everybody's life. It's not limited to a certain number of people who are special. Y'all, we're just all doing the hard work, and I promise you, if I can do this, if my family can do this, you can do this, and it has changed our family in huge ways, and I'd love to tell you more, so feel free to reach out, and I could share more of our story, but I just wish you all huge success, and I want to see you on that trip next year. You guys have a great night.